Here's the first time you have someone who calls themselves a socialist who got elected the mayor of New York City.
Thank you, my friends.
There's burning anger among working class people because of the decline in the living conditions, plus the anger against the US government support of Israel and its attack against the Palestinian people has created a tremendous victory in the mayoral race for Zohran. Here's the first time you have someone who calls themselves a socialist, a democratic socialist, who got elected the mayor of New York City, the capital of US capitalism, right? The citadel of world capitalism. He got elected. And not only that, he defeated the Democratic Party establishment, and that Democratic Party establishment was closely linked with support for the Israeli Zionist state. And this was a big defeat for them as well. His victory in the mayoral race was tremendous. There was 2 million people that voted. That's double the amount of people that voted 4 years ago. And it's the biggest turnout in New York City mayoral elections since 1969. And not only that, in the city of Wall Street, according to the exit polls, 1 out of 4 voters identified themselves as Democratic Socialists. So this was a tremendous victory and a tremendous change and a defeat for the establishment. The ruling class poured tons of money in negative ads against Zohran in both the June election and the November election. And in spite of all that money they spent, and in spite of all those false negative ads they used against him, he won, he beat them, and he got over 50% of the vote, winning 4 out of 5 boroughs, the 4 most popular boroughs, including the Bronx, which he had lost in June, but then turned into the winning column in November. Now, the victory of Zohran has brought some sweet words from the New York Times, from former President Obama, and from others in the capitalist establishment. They're all warning him that he should be pragmatic. Now, of course, what they mean by that is that he should play by their rules. See, they make the rules, and if you play by their rules, they always win. These people, we should understand, are no friends of the working class. And if Mandami takes their advice, he's going to be stuck in a box, and he's going to do what they want and not what the working class wants. We have to reject that. The only way for the working class to win is to unite its forces, use its power, and break the rules of capitalism. Now, elections are the easy part. The owners of the corporations, the owners of land and industry, still have all the economic power. They control the federal bureaucracy. They control the state bureaucracy. They even control the New York City bureaucracy. None of the reforms that Zohran promised will be given without a fight. And in addition to that, he should expect vicious attacks, not only from Trump and the federal government, but even from the so-called friends known as the Democratic Party. We should point out that a lot of his own supporters understand that the Democratic Party is not a friend of the working class. According to the exit polls, 1 out of 3 Mandami voters had a negative view, an unfavorable view towards the Democratic Party. The question is, what is Zohran prepared to do to fight for these reforms and to fight against these attacks? How are we going to win? How can we defeat this powerful enemy? And there's only one answer. The only way that these forces can be defeated is by the mass mobilization of the working class, not just in New York City, but nationally. If you let this battle be pitted as the federal government versus New York City, we're going to lose. The only way for workers in New York City to win is to spread the struggle, make this a national battle of the working class against the government of the rich. Now, in terms of uniting the working class, a good starting point is the building of an independent working class party. And Zohran had 104,000 volunteers in his campaign. That 104,000 volunteers could be the core of building that independent workers' party. We're not talking about just an electoral party. We're talking about a fighting party of the working class to mobilize for demonstrations, pickets, strikes, protests. That's the way we're going to beat the ruling class. And yes, it would also stand independently of the Democrats and Republicans when election time would come. Some of the Democrats that endorse Mandami will become some of his bitterest enemies, which is another reason why we need this independent working class party. The Revolutionary Communists of America will support every positive step taken for the working class in its struggle for reforms, its struggle against the landlords, big business, and capitalist establishment. Now that means we will fight for free buses. We also want free subways. We will fight for housing for everyone. We don't want the rents just to be frozen. The rent should be rolled back. Nobody should have to pay more than 10% of their income for rent, whether they live in rent-stabilized apartments or not live in rent-stabilized apartments. We want free quality childcare for everybody. We want all these things, but that's not going to be won without a big fight. But the money is there, it's just in the pockets of the ruling class. And it's by expropriating the capitalist class that we can create a nationalized, democratically planned economy that will basically meet human needs plus more. Life can get better. A lot of the problems that we're facing today do not need to happen. They are a result of capitalism. All of that wealth that's produced by the labor of the working class belongs to the population as a whole. It doesn't belong to the richest 1%. But it won't come to us without a struggle. In order to transform society, the working class will need its own party, a revolutionary communist party. Help us to build this party. Join this fight. Be in the thick of it. Make sure that the working class wins.